This is Tom Rust for TRSB Sports Podcast. Today, delighted to be joined by a professional heavyweight boxer, Maximus Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, how are you, mate?
Can you hear the sirens and behind me in Prague? No, just thought. No, yeah, I'm good actually, sorry. If you think there's sirens behind me, it's just because I'm in the middle of the city, so, you know. Yeah, I'm good, by the way, sorry.
That's right. What are you drinking there?
Coffee, because obviously you're quite, well, you're not boring, but you potentially put me to sleep down again, Tom. Major.
Listen, mate, I've seen a few of the comments people leave about you, mate. So listen, I'm fine. How are you getting on over there anyway? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. Recovered from Saturday for my exhibition bout, which is all right, and ready to go for my actual fight Sunday. Got away in Saturday in Ostrava, and I'm good to go, really.
So you're 1-0, and you've already had an exhibition fight, mate. Normally fighters have their full career, they retire for 10 years, then come back. You have one fight straight into an exhibition.
The point is what it is my original opponent pulled out of COVID on the day, so they got this guy in. Can't remember what his name is now, but they said he failed his medical, but they needed to put an extra fight on the show because that's how they sold the card. They said, look, there will be no winner out of it. It's you two going at it for 4 rounds, and he's a BKB fighter as well, so. I'm thinking, it does bear enough. I'm not thinking, Christ, it's going to be savage then. So we had it, and that was it, really. So got no marks on me, so I've done all right for myself. Normally, I'll get hit up quite hard.
I was going to say, mate, you're looking, you're looking all right, considering you only had a fight last weekend.
Yeah, Saturday, yeah. So
talking about fights, mate, this Saturday. If you follow boxing, there's going to be no other place than to watch the Tyson Fury fight against Dillian Whyte. Obviously, a no-show today at the weigh-in. What do you make of that?
Look, Dillian's got to do what he's got to do. He's going to turn up to weigh-in live, and that's it. And to be honest with you, I can see why he's doing it. I think Dillian's got this attitude where he knows the Furies think they're all this, they're all that, or we're selling the fight, or we're the A side and that. I think he's got fed up with it, and he's like dug his heels in the ground. Now, I'll just do weigh in, and I'll fight you, and that's it. I ain't going to give you anything else. And he's only started to say stuff now, isn't he? So, I think it adds more spice to it, doesn't it? Because when it comes to that weigh-in, that's the first time we're going to see each other, isn't it? So we'll see. And then, of course, Dillian Whyte and Shane Fury, they both got a, needle with each other. So they might get involved with each other. You know what I mean? It could all just blow up. And we'll just see the first bit of it. You know what I mean? And I think this is going to be a busy, viewing for weigh-in, more so than any other weigh-in, I think. I think it's going to be really everyone's going to tune into it. Because see if he's there and if he is, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's mad. I think that Frank Warren's had a lot to say about Dillian Whyte not doing a lot on social media, not really promoting the fight. Whether that's because he's getting the same amount of money regardless, but I think the fact that he's not said much has got everyone else talking about it. We're talking about it. Every other media outlet is talking about it. So I think you're right. I think come weigh in. Obviously, he's got to go to the weigh-in, otherwise he can't fight, mate. Again. I can't wait for it, whether it's all going to kick off, whether he's going to do a Deontay Wilder and turn up with the headphones. I can't see him doing that, but it's definitely intriguing.
I think with Dillian, I said this a few times on someone else today. Tyson Fury, I'm not saying his best days are behind him, but he's got to watch it where between camps now. And, they're saying that this could be his last fight, and they're making that out. It's not going to be his last fight. He speaks absolutely crap. He'll have one more at least out of this. So I think what'll happen, he's got to watch it between camps that he doesn't blow up in weight and do the party style sort of stuff, because he likes to have a drink, and we know that. And you know, it's natural boxers to have his time off, but Dillian doesn't seem, especially his last 5 fights, he seems to be like takes himself out of anything and seems to be focused on the job at hand. And he seems to be he seems to stay at the same sort of weight. The only time he went off the boil is when after the Oscar Rivez fight, he went off the boil a little bit, took time out of boxing, went on MasterChef. That's the only time you've seen him was really a bit out of shape, when he fought Marius Wack. You know what I mean? So that's the only time you saw him. But apart from that, I think he's invested himself quite well. So, you know, if there's a time to have Tyson Fury, it might be now. And he's probably the best person to do it at this moment in time. You don't know.
I think you're right. I think we're going to get a fight Saturday night. 2 fighters are in their prime. They're both looking good. You know, Dillian Whyte, as you say, over the last few years, has taken himself away. I think he was training in Loughborough, but I think he's, you know, permanently based in Portugal now. And with Tyson Fury, I think since the comeback, I don't think he's been putting on the weight in between fights. I think physically and mentally, he's probably in the best place he ever has been in.
Yeah, maybe so. I think he's got to. It's quite interesting seeing him in that live workout, because he's obviously fighting like a southpaw, and you know, it's going to be interesting how. I mean, I can't remember how many southpaws Dillian Whyte has actually faced, but you know, Tyson Fury, it's not only just how good he is, it's what the versatile he does, because he can adjust to any fight, and that's how good he is. You know, and you know, if he turns up like he did Wilder 3, Dillian will stand a chance. You know, he's not there to be had. I don't think knock him out or anything like that. He might floor him a few times, but if he turns up like Fury, like in Wilder 2, I don't. No disrespect to Dillian Whyte, he won't have a chance in hell for him. So,
and
you know,
just before I get your prediction, what would you make of Dillian Whyte not turning up to the first press conference, not doing anything on social media, not really promoting the fight? What do you make of all of that? Do you blame him? Do you think he should have been involved, or do you feel like because he's getting the same amount of money, that's maybe his reasoning behind it?
It's a difficult one, really. I mean, because we're not in his position. I mean, Fury's got the point of that. Look, Christ, you're getting more than what I thought for, you know, a Klitschko fight. You know, when I was on the B side, and let's be honest, Dillian's on the B side. I don't know if it's greed, but then, you know, if it was Eddie Hearn promoted a fight, you know, would he still be doing the same thing? Because he would be still on the B side. You know, it's you got to think there's always an A and B side in this, and unfortunately, on this instance, he's in unfamiliar territory for a long time that he hasn't been on the B side, and he's you know, if he wins Saturday, you know, he could be on the A side. You know, I mean, a lot more. You know, and dictate. You know. I mean, is Dillian wrong? I mean, you can't really blame him. I mean, you know, does he want to engage with Fury? No, not really. I think he's just put his head down and just tunnel vision and just trained, I think. And I can't really blame him for that, because he's not obliged. Is it obliged in the contracts? Because this comes down to Frank Warren and Jeremy Benz. Yeah, I mean, that discussion. They both weren't clear what was in there, what it wasn't in there. You know, Simon sort of tried to dissect it. I don't think, you know, there was any, you know, there was, let's make the fight, then let's do ongoing discussions. You know, it's all a bit of a mess. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think from that TalkSport interview where they had Frank Warren on and Dillian Whyte's lawyer, from what Frank was saying, Dillian Whyte was legally obliged to promote the fight, but you know they had the lawyer on and they couldn't agree with anything. Do you feel like there's any psychological side to it? A lot of people say that Fury gets in opponent's head before the fight. Do you feel like there's any of that to do with him not turning up?
Yeah, I think it could be. He's a master at it. He's good at it. It's an art. He's got an art for it. And I think this is why he's so intelligent in the ring. Fury's really good at it. He's very good at, I mean, like, you see how he is in the ring. He can go southpaw, orthodox. He can fight on the back foot, on the front foot. He can do all sorts. It's the same when he's in the press conference. He's got it all. The guy's got it all. So when you face him with someone of that caliber, you want to try to take away some of their attributes. So was it a smart move of Dillian Whyte? Maybe it is. We will see, won't we? We will see. Because he can't keep sending messages to him, and he can't say, he's taking it away from Fury. And I think Fury's a little bit frustrated with that. He says, "Oh, I've got to promote it myself," and I think that's because when he has someone to play off, he thrives on it, Fury, doesn't he? So maybe it is a move from Dillian Whyte. You can't really answer that. It's hard to say. You don't know if it's legal issues. So I'm on the fence with that.
I think if there is one man who can promote a fight on its own, it's definitely Tyson Fury. But for yourself, how would you deal with someone like Tyson Fury if you had to fight him, with the psychological side of the sport?
The only way to deal with him, you just have to get up close, I think. You fight him on the inside at his own game. You keep it at the range, he can do that all day long. You're fighting at the inside of him, keep it mid-range, don't ever be at length, because that's where his strongest point is. But he's still, again, Tyson Fury fighting inside the pocket. Okay, he's not great, but he's not that bad either. And for someone long-limbed, he can do it. So, look, he's got the reach advantage against Dillian Whyte. So, Dillian Whyte, I mean, I've fought bigger opponents myself, taller opponents, and it's hard to punch upwards. It's hard. It's quite hard, and it takes away that percentage of power away from your backhand. And it's going to be interesting because Wilder landed it. So it depends. It's all about the timing of it. And he has got a light left hook, but I don't think Dillian Whyte is even as tall as Wilder, is he? He's 6'4", 6'3", isn't he? He's a little bit shorter than Wilder even. So Dillian he's got a hardest night of his life coming up, and I just hope he's prepared.
Just finally, then, on that fight come Saturday night, what is your prediction?
I'm going to go stoppage Fury 8-12. Stops him.
You think he stops him between 8 and 12?
Yeah, between 8 and 12 stops him.
And if Dillian Whyte is to win, how do you think he needs to fight?
Needs to take him out early. He'll try to, and just put it on him straight away. Put him in a dogfight straight away. Drag him in a deep waters. Look, the best two people in boxing is Usyk and him and Fury. All right, both masterclass at boxing. It's simple as that. This is a classic thing. We're looking at the classic thing, like a Joshua and Usyk reverse, but except you got a bigger version of Usyk all of a sudden. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. A gigantic one. So you're not going to outbox him. So forget that. You're not going to do it. You're going to have to time him well. And I just think he's just going to wear him out. Fury's going to try to wear him out, and I think Fury's is on top of his fitness on this one, because he got away with it against Wilder. He got away with it. He could have quite easily lost that. If he was down in earlier on in the rounds or whatever, he could have quite easily lost that against Wilder. So you don't forget, he got floored twice. So there is chinks in his armour, but that's when he's come up close.
Do you think?
So White's going to have to come up close and really take him up close and really try with any inside work, which I think White's capable of doing.
Where are you going to be watching it Saturday night? You found anywhere nice to watch it, or you? I see you're on your story on Instagram. It looks like you've been out doing a little bit of sightseeing.
Yeah. So there is a place. I don't know. It's an Irish bar I've seen. I mean, it's the day before my fight, so I'm gonna have to be careful. But there's a few lads. There's two lads who are like a fan of Porky's Corner, hitched up. Quite nice lads actually. They've told me like where to go, what to do, and certain things because they're based out here. So I found a nice bar, quietish bar where they're going to show it. Because boxing's not awfully that big out here. It's normally like it's 30, and you know what I mean. So, but they'll definitely be showing. There's a few people being there. So, yeah.
Who are you over there with then? At the moment.
So I went over with first camp. Like I did my camp with. They've gone home, but it was easier because I had a fight next week. Because obviously I travel from North Yorkshire to London. That's where they all get the plane tickets. That's where they all like fly from. Because when they do a group booking, so it made sense for me to stay out here 3 days extra or 4 days extra, for the sake of going back to North Yorkshire, and the petrol cost at the minute is absolutely astronomical. So it was like feasible for me just to stay here. So yeah.
And you enjoying yourself over there?
It's all right. I'm getting a bit bored now because, like, obviously I've got a gym here which I've been hitting. I'm doing tapering work for 3 minutes and shadow boxing, all this stuff. Tapering for this next fight. Make sure they'll have a massage tomorrow, and ready to go in, you know, for Sunday really. And you know, it's now I'm going to do a little bit more sightseeing and go to I think it's Charles Bridge or something, and I'm going to go past the City Hall. City Hall's massive and some real nice architecture here. So I am going to go just one day of sightseeing, you know, but I don't want to venture out too much. I just want to sort of just keep myself out there really. So
yeah, no, 100%, mate. Well, we keep a lookout on your social media. Just going back to the Fury Whyte fight as well, looking at the undercard, I think we touched on it briefly last time he was on the channel. Frank Warren getting quite a bit of stick for that. What do you make of it?
Do you know what? I feel sorry for Eddie Hearn here. I don't defend him. I'll give him it like normally, but if it was Eddie Hearn and he had that card out, it'd be lambs to the slaughter. He would get criticised heavily. I don't think Frank's got criticised enough for it. I mean, personally, you as a consumer, they say we saw these tickets going for 180 quid each onwards. Would you, and knowing that undercard was on, would you pay money for that?
I think it's
no. Well, it's a yes or no answer, isn't it?
Mate, there's so many things you've got to factor in, like where you are in the country. You know, if you're coming from Newcastle, like, or where do you live?
Yeah, but where you're coming from then?
Do you know what I mean?
where are you coming from then? You're coming from what? Like North London or Essex or wherever?
I'm in Kent. But no, listen, the reason why
Kent, so okay, you're coming from Kent, right? Would you pay, yes or no, 180 quid per ticket to watch that?
I would, yeah, 180 quid. You know, at the end of the day, mate, you're paying that money to see Tyson Fury. You know, hasn't fought in England for so long. A huge heavyweight fight. Both fighters in their prime. It's an occasion as well, isn't it? Not just in boxing, but in sport in general. And the reason why I'm not going is because, as you know, I want to watch the fight, and straight after the fight, I want to get you on to get an immediate reaction. I'm gutted, mate. And you know, you've got.
So you're saying, yeah, you would pay based on that.
If I didn't have this channel, and I wasn't planning on doing anything after the fight, I would happily pay. I wouldn't happily pay, but I would pay it to go and see Tyson Fury fight.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, don't get me wrong. I get where people are coming from with the undercard, but then I suppose on the flip side to that, then Frank Warren's had to pay out all this money just to get the event on.
But mate, I can see both sides of the argument. I'm not going to sit here and say the undercard's going to be incredible, because I think if you ask the average boxing fan, they probably wouldn't know a lot of fighters that are on the undercard.
But yeah, but there's the thing. What they could have done is, and I felt they could have done it in their scope. What about, let's say, because you got to think as well. Dillian Whyte's got fighters as well. So he's got Fabio Wardley. He's got Alan Babbitt.
They're not going to do him any favours, are they?
But the thing is, I mean, why couldn't they say, look, you know, and Frank was thin on the ground. He's admitted that in his interview. He's like, availability of fighters, because, you know, it'd be nice to see Zach Parker, and like, but he's fighting in Derby at Pride Park. So you got that. So he couldn't do that. Joe Joyce is recovering from a hand injury, so he couldn't fight. Daniel Dubois got this thing with Trevor Brott. So there's those three out. And David Adelaide, is that as best it gets? I mean, I feel you could have got maybe Alan. What? David Adelaide?
I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't throw your name in there, mate.
Well, no, but you know, the thing is the point is that if I'm paying 180 quid, I want 180 quid. Now, yes, I'm fine. But happen if Tyson Fury knocks him out within the first minute. Let's say that happens. It could happen, right? More likely won't, but it could happen. Now, you'd be pretty pissed a little bit after seeing that undercard. You know, and I would think to spice it up, they could have put a good chief of support on that. Now, I would have put in someone like, I mean, it deserves a chief of support, that sort of size of Wembley. So why couldn't they have done something like Fabio Wardley v whoever for the British title, or like a European, you get what I'm saying, or him v Caballero or something like that, and put Fabio Wardley in a real harsh fight or something. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, those fighters, Dillian's got fighters as well, and Fabio Wardley, what? They say, look, we give you $250,000 to get in there against their $250,000 net. They would have done that. And what's 500 grand out of that pot? Realistically, they could have made a marquee. I mean, you know, when you got Derek Delboy getting in there for $250,000, you know what I'm saying? You could have easily got a chief support on there, a decent chief of support. That's my opinion. I mean, you know, people might say, oh, you're wrong or whatever, but I think if there was a decent chief of support, I think people would be less likely to moan at it.
I think with Whyte's fighters, I think they were never going to do him any favours. I think to get that fight on, they've had to almost put their eggs in one basket. But I suppose, you know, at the end of the day, mate, it's one of those. You don't have to buy a ticket. If you want to buy a ticket and go and watch it, you can. But they clearly didn't struggle to sell it, did they? I think there was like 200,000 people in the queue for a ticket.
Right, okay. Then here's the question. Then, right, yes, they haven't struggled to sell it, but do you think, let's say they announced that undercard before putting it on sale, do you think they would have sold that many tickets?
I think 90%, 95% people are going to watch that fight are there to go and see Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. Of course, you're going to get people are going there to watch the undercard, friends, family, etc. But wouldn't you agree? Most people are going there to see Whyte and Fury.
Yeah. But do you think that it would be the same reaction if, you know, if they announced that undercard, then put it on general sale? Do you think the same reaction? They'd be flocking.
I think there would have been a bit of, you know, kickback. You know, however, I still feel like there might not have been as many people in the queue. Who knows? But regardless, they would have still.
I would say it would have been 80,000. I reckon 10,000 would be struck off that, because there'd be a lot of disgruntled people at that undercard. Personally,
the problem is as well, though, is when people go and buy mass tickets and then sell them on. I think, obviously, I don't know what they can do about that, but it's
they've been trying to stop that for years, haven't they?
Mate. But
you know what I mean?
I think though, like, you know, if you're coming from somewhere that's a few hours away, you've got the cost of getting there, the hotel, the fight itself. You know, you're going to London. You know, you make it an occasion. And, you know, you look back in 10 years' time, and let's say it's a it's a brilliant fight, which I'm sure it will be. I think, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money, but it's one of those, it'd be nice to say you was there on the night. And I agree with you, I don't think it's going to be Fury's last fight. However, if you did hang up the gloves after Saturday night, you know, you're going to be glad that you went. I'm gutted that I'm not going, but at the same time,
I'm not though. That's the thing. I shouldn't be so harsh. Like, if it was, I tell you what, I'd only buy that fight if it was Fury v Usyk. I would have bought it. Yeah,
but listen, mate, not everyone gets ringside seats from the zone. Do you know what I mean? Like
you're
used to getting up. Come on through. Sit in the front, and we'll take your coat. Not everyone gets that treatment, mate. Do you know what I mean? No wonder why you don't want to.
It's happened only twice now. It's happened only twice now, right? You know, it's only because things happen in the background. but yeah, no, that was a sweetener for me. So, but yeah, it's, you know, I just think if it was Usyk v Fury, yeah, I'd pay that. I'd pay 300 quid a ticket if it's Usyk v Fury with that undercut.
Well, next time you get ringside tickets, I'm your number 2, and I.
Oh, right, okay, all right. So,
do you know what I mean? Mate, all this airtime I'm giving you, do you know what I mean?
Well, I just heard you're going on. I heard all you're going on with your boss before, so yeah, you got to ask her first before I even asking about going anywhere, mate. I've just seen how much you got put in your box, mate. So don't even.
No, do you know what? My brother who does all the IT, he's just got back from Spain late last night. Yeah. I'm using this laptop that takes about 20 minutes to start, and yeah, it's just not a great setup. But yeah, you did witness me getting quite stressed out for our interview, but I feel all right now. I'm quite calm.
Yeah, I'm quite stressed out. Well, I'm glad. This is the first time I've been on the podcast. I'm not bloody ill. You know what I mean with you? I'm normally like hit by the plague, COVID, like dying of some sickness bag, and it's always when you're involved, but your name is touted about. So for once, I'm feeling okay.
You know what though? I'm glad it was you that heard me have a moment, because imagine if it was someone I was interviewing for the first time, and I thought, well, who is this nutter? I'd have just been like, exit. No, sorry, mate, busy.
yeah. If you imagine, I'll tell you what. If you had you had Tommy Jacobs on, he heard that, he'd roast you. He would be roasting you for that. I'll tell you what.
We did have him on actually. A little, mate, he was our second or third guest, and his actual gym in Colchester is literally around the corner from where I lived for like 6 months.
Oh, was it? Oh, Willie's gym. Yeah. I picked him up. I'll pick him up, and I've sometimes gone down there a few sparring sessions actually. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. That's where, literally, mate. When I was speaking to him after, he told me where his gym was, and he literally used to live around the corner. But I know you said he's fighting again Saturday, isn't he? So I think, I know he's probably got a busy week, but if we can get him back on, we'll reach out to him. But mate, coming on to your fight on Sunday, everything going well. You ready for it? You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. It's just apprehensive, on certain things, like obviously he's been in like the cruiserweight. He struggles to make weight, so he's coming up into heavy. He's got a losing record, but you know what? It was the only one really available for me out here, or part of MPM Promotions Management or something. I can't remember. It's my own fucking company. Martin does. I should know it by heart. So MPM Management. So it's the only fight available they got for me. So yeah, I'm feeling good enough. I'm feeling what I should be feeling. I could do 4 3-minute rounds quite comfortably. So I just got to go in there and just, dust him out, basically. I've got to just do this. And what I've learned with Julie, my coach, over the last 2 months, just reacculate. I look at some of our previous fights, even that white collar, I just think, Christ, I was gash. But you expect, I said this to someone else as a lad who's been boxing for years in the ABAs. He says you don't get better or pros don't get better until after, like, look visibly better after the 8th to 10th pro fight. You know what I mean? They still look a little bit quite novice-y. You know what I mean? Unless they've had a heavy good amateur career. And I mean, I just think, Christ, I look awful there or something. And sometimes, look, I do some stupid things sometimes in there. I just think, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to iron them out. You know what I mean?
Do you ever get any self-doubt? I know, you might be physically capable and you've done enough in training to get you, physically prepared for the fight. But come fight night, do you get much self-doubt? I know a lot of athletes, work with psychologists now to really focus on the things that they've been doing. And I know, of course, the more you prepare, the less you worry. But what about yourself? Do you get much of that?
Do you know what? I think it's not doubt. I just get nerves. And that's all it is. And I think it's natural. I mean, it's doubt. When doubt creeps in, I think the doubt creeps in with people when they haven't done enough in training. That's my personal. Well, that's how I look at it. I think if you've done enough in training and you've done enough and you've done a little bit of road running or whatever, in my case, a lot of treadmill runs, and I think if you've done enough, you won't doubt it. You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah, of course. I think naturally as well, some people are more mentally tough than others. I think it's just part of your makeup.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I get nervous when I'm sparring as well. I get nervous, and I just remember listening to a Carl Froch podcast. I think it was. I think he was doing a podcast over COVID, and he did one with George Groves, and he was saying that, like, he would do like a bit of sparring with Tony Bellew and Chris Eubank Jr., and he'll always get nerves before that. And I just think to myself, if you're not nervous, he even says on there, if you're not nervous before sparring, it's not the right sort of sparring. You need to have nerves before sparring. So I think that's quite handy to know, really, because you're sort of doing it right, or on the right tracks, you see.
I think as well, I think nerves and excitement can sometimes make you feel similar. So I think equally you're getting a little bit nervous, getting excited, and sometimes they can be similar. I know my background is swimming, and I used to get really nervous before I used to compete, but at the same time I liked it because you got you ready, got your adrenaline going. If I went into a competition and didn't feel anything, I'd be worried.
Yeah, and I agree that to a certain extent, because if you're not nervous before a fight, I mean, you're telling me Tyson Fury that's done it 30 odd times, or going out in Wembley, he ain't gonna be nervous in front of that crowd. Of course you're gonna be nervous. Of course you know what I mean, so, and they're the guys top of their game. They're the cream of the crop. So, we're all human at the end of the day, and I just think you've got to. I mean, it's like when I get in there, it's like as soon as that first glove is laid on me, it's all gone.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the task at hand. You forget about it.
Yeah, 100%. Now, without looking past Sunday, what's next for you?
Probably a fight in the UK back end of the year. There's possibly another fight in June somewhere in the UK that's cropped. I can't say too much about it against a decent enough opponent. We'll see. There's talks and talks. I was looking forward to have a bit of like a summer away or something with a girlfriend or something. You know what I mean? Not fighting. You know what I mean? But I need to keep moving on because I'm cracking on a bit. I'm 33. You know what I mean? So,
mate, you're the same age as me, mate. So you're a young man still.
Well, if you're 33, Christ, you've had hard paper out, man.
Yeah, it was all uphill, mate. You got anything planned for the summer then? You planning on going anywhere with your missus?
Well, it's what? It's more for my daughter. So it's similar to like yourself or whatever. You got a 9-year-old, didn't you? How old's yours?
9 tomorrow, and I've got a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah. So I've got a 6. She's 6 on the 1st of May. So I want to take her to London, take her to the Frozen show, stuff like that, and I might even see if I can rinse out maybe to take her to Disneyland Paris again because she loved it that much. And we did it mid-COVID where things were it's lifted a lot more over there now. So thinking about doing that. So that might be a possibility. So fight in June, maybe, then maybe have 2-3 months off. Not often like fighting or sparring, or training, but like nothing booked in. Then maybe have a homecoming back in the year, November, maybe.
Yeah, talking about London as well. If you are in London, if you're only Fools and Horses fan, I went to watch a show in London a couple of last weekend or the weekend before.
Yeah,
really good, mate. If you're a fan.
Well, where's that then?
London. It's it's like a 10-minute walk from Victoria Station. I can't remember the name of the theatre, but my missus took me for my birthday, mate. Really good, mate.
Was it? Oh, yeah, I'll be up for going. I love Fools and Horses. It's diet. It's like, I hope it never dies away ever. It's one of the best comedies ever.
Oh, mate, 100%. And
that and 40 Towers.
Oh yeah, do you know what? I've not seen that. People have spoken about it. I was going to say as well, for you to have a fight over here and potentially June, that'd be nice as well, wouldn't it? Get some of your own fans to come and support you.
Yeah, I mean, I get countless messages asking, when you're fighting over here, you know what I mean? When you're fighting, you know what I mean? So it would be, I could shift 100 odd straight away. It would want to come to watch, but it's just find the right, because there's talks of different platforms or different companies, you know what I mean? So it's just buying my time, because at a minute it's like, not sounding disrespectful, you've got to make sure the right deal works for you, because boxing is such a sharky sport. And I think this a little bit. People say things and do another, so I'm just buying my time with it, just keeping active and just see what comes along, because there's a few offers come out, but I'm not going to take any silly offers, you know what I mean, just yet, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, of course, you want 1-0 exhibition fight, got a fight this Sunday. It sounds like you sort of know what you're doing. You're not looking to rush in, but just build up slowly, because of course keeping your zero, mate, as we've seen, is important,
paramount. But if I lose it, I lose it, you know what I mean? It's not like, it's not end of the world, but you start losing 3 or 4, forget it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, regardless, mate, get a couple of ringside tickets for that one.
Yeah, you love it, don't you? You love it. Try to kid out. Just love it. Scraping the barrel. You know what I mean? Try to get anything you can.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You've got to ask.
Will you be taking a mate, or will you be taking your boss? That's the question.
I don't know. Well, firstly, mate, I've got to see if I'm allowed out for the night. But no, obviously, on a serious note, let us know, because depending on where it is, if it's like London, we can look to get a media pass and cover the event. Sure. We went to York Hall a few weekends ago to watch who was it? Jack Hughes, Paul Roberts fight for the Southern Area title. Good night. It's quite I know we spoke about it earlier on the phone. It's quite a small venue. It's quite eerie. It's an old building. So yeah, great night, mate. But yeah, I suppose within time you'll announce your next fight after this one.
Sure. Yeah, definitely will do.
Also, mate, just quickly, just want to just say, look, thank you ever so much for giving us some of your time today. I know it's fight week for you. We appreciate you jumping on to have a chat about the Fury fight coming up this weekend. Yeah, just massive, mate. I can't wait for it. As I said, I'm not going to be there, but be watching it. I watch the whole thing, and the undercard may surprise us. We have to wait and see. But
I just hope David Adelaide does something really spectacular. It's just like he just dusts opponents out. I just hope he's like really does something, because I do rate him as a fighter. I do like him, and I just think he's. I just want to wait. I just think I don't know if he's held back, or I don't know if there's the reins on him behind the scenes. I'd love to see him in something like a harsh fight. I'd see him against someone like Fabio Wardley or something. You know what I mean? That would be a good fight.
What did you make of the Conor Benn stoppage?
Look, Conor Benn, he's improved. Let's be honest. He's improved. He's got to a good level now. He's definitely British level, stroke European level now. We know that. Now, in my opinion, he's gone backwards since the Vargas fight, Samuel Vargas, in opponents. If you look at opponents, Samuel Vargas, when he stopped him spectacularly, fantastic fight. I mean, of course, he just fought for the European title, Vargas, against that Polish guy in Canada. So, you know, Vargas is still up there. Okay. He's for Granados. He's for Chris Algieri. He's a school caretaker now. He's, you know what I mean? He's, look, I mean, he's gone backwards in opponents, in my opinion. Now, he's got to either do the following: take on someone like Kelbrook, take on someone like McKinson. McKinson's had this fight with Virgil Ortiz cancelled. That's a great fight, but they ain't going to fight them two because they're both Matchroom.
Yeah,
and they've signed, Matchroom are clever with this. Matchroom has signed McKinson as a blocker for Conor Benn. That's why, in my opinion. I think I'd like to see him against someone. David Avanesian. Come on, why aren't they screaming out?
yeah.
You know, he's look. If you're the real deal, Connor, fight him. If you're the real deal, you know, fight him. But do you know what? He's
Still a young man, though, isn't he, Conor Benn?
You want to say again?
Still a young man, though, isn't he? It's only like 24, 25.
Well, yeah, but let's say he lost to David Avanesian. It's not his career over. It's just a loss. So people need to get this 0 and 1s out of it. He's still lost. I mean, look at Delboy. He's on 12 losses, 12 or 13 losses, right? Conor Benn will still be a draw. It's not like his, you know, humanity in day. He might have the rematch if you lose to David Avanesian. But the point is he needs to be in a deep fight because Chris Van Eerden, let's be honest, he hasn't been in the ring since 2019. That's 3 years in activity nearly. It's not. It's, you know, it's no good. So he needs to fight someone who's been fairly active. So Avanesian, McKinson. I like to see him maybe against Chris Congo, but I think Chris Congo and Marku are going to go at it, which would be good.
Yeah, because McKinson beat Congo, didn't he, for the upset? That's where he ended up getting his Matchroom contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, welterweight division, mate, is a great division at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but I think Eddie's going to be quite clever with this because Eddie's going to go try and get a world title fight first. And if he doesn't make it, he can step down to the domestic or British stroke European. So I just think he's got, I think this Renoski or whatever his name is, who won the European Canada, that could be a good one for him, who Josh Kelly beat. So that could be an easier one for him, you know. But the thing is that everyone wants a firefight, a big fight out of him now, a big marquee, sort of like, you know, let's test Conor Benn because it's too much. He's dusted off Van Eerden, he's dusted off his last 3, and they've just been inactive. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think from what you're saying, I think generally, reading through the comments after the fight, that's what, you know, generally people were saying. They want to see him step up now and really fight someone who's gonna fight back. But listen, mate, before we let you go, anything else you'd like to add?
No, a big good luck to Tommy Jacobs for his fight against Billy Underwood. I think Tommy does him. I generally think Tommy would do him. You know, I mean, Tommy, I see him sparring. He's amazing to watch him sparring, Tommy. I don't dare go against him. You know what I mean? He's ruthless for a middle. So I hope he does the business against Billy. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a tough fight as well.
I think as well, for where he is for his age, when we had him on the channel, he's looking to move quickly for obvious reasons. We know that, you know, a few things in his personal life, you know, couldn't box for a little while. So yeah, I think he's looking to move quickly. But both really nice lads. They've both been on the channel actually. So
yeah,
let the best man win, I suppose.
Yeah, and I hope Tommy does it because he's had personal issues, you know, and he's a great lad. He's I'll tell you what, you won't find anyone as genuine as him. He'll do out for you, you know, and known him for a bit of time now. He's got a good gym of himself at Willie's in Colchester. So good luck to him. He's a proper lad. So I hope he does the business, and it would help him massively to win. I think it's gonna boost him up there.
And did I see as well? You've got your own YouTube channel.
No, I don't have a YouTube channel.
Oh, do you not? Oh, I must have. I don't know what I was looking at then. But
mate, that's one thing I'm never ever going to do. People have said it. Oh, you should do your own channel. never ever
Why
going to
not?
do a YouTube channel. Fuck it. Look, right, I'm not being funny, right? I don't have time for that crap, right? I like to sit, watch TV, watch bollocks on the screen, right? And can you imagine the amount of hatred sometimes and the comments you leave? You've got to keep like removing and inappropriate comments. I ain't got time for that. You know, there's always someone doing a little video about you because their universal credits like ran out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think to myself, well, you know, I don't have time for that. I've got my own business. I've got, you know, don't want to do. Look, there's enough people on here keeping me relevant, right? Why would I need to? You know what I mean? There's people doing videos of me.
Yeah. What other channels do you go on then? I know you obviously, you know, you're big on Porky's Corner. You've been on here a few times now. Where else have you been?
Well, no, that was the only two I'm really on. I'll tell you who else I watched since you said it. That lad, Freddie, is it?
Fred Talks Fighting.
Yeah, I've been watching him, and I like that channel. I'm into that now. What else do I watch?
What about other boxing outlets? Obviously, there's loads, isn't there?
I mean, I do like to watch IFL now and again because I like Umar. I do like the questions he asks. He does try to push it a little bit, so I'll give him that. I don't mind pound for pound boxing podcast, which that Jake Wood and Spencer Oliver. I don't mind that. I had Peter Fury on there, and listening to how Peter Fury is, you know, very knowledgeable. You know, so it was good to hear certain guests like that. There's certain guests on there you just don't want to hear. You think, that's shit. You know what I mean?
I think I heard as well. I don't know if it's right, but I think Rob Tebbett has left Boxing Social. I think someone said that. You heard him?
Oh, really? I don't know.
Don't know.
He started. He was the best one out of all of them, wasn't he? So
yeah, there was another fella on there. I can't remember his name, but I quite liked him. But yeah, I think, you know, like you, mate. I think IFL. That's, you know, normally generally who I'd watch if I'm going to watch a boxing interview. I think naturally as well, whenever you type anything in, they always come up first anyway. So
yeah,
and we, you know, if you scroll down about 100, you'll come across our channel.
yeah, you're getting up there. Yours get views. You get some. Look, you get access to some. Yeah, you get access to people like Chris Jenkins, which is fantastic. You know, and he's again a nice, genuine lad. You know, you won't find any more genuine in him. So, you know, it's you know, you've got access to people like him. So, you know, it's not like, you know, shy of people. So, you know, you're getting views. So it's why not? You know, so
yeah, definitely, mate. You know, we appreciate every single person that come on, whether they're, you know, 1-0, whether they've won a British title. You know, we've had Markham McKinnon on. There's obviously going to be. He was meant to be fighting Virgil Ortiz. So yeah, you know, we've had a few female boxers on as well, which is good. But you know, it's just not enough hours in the day, mate. Honestly, since starting this channel, so many pros, so many different weight categories. But yeah, mate, it keeps us busy, and you know, we keep you know, uploading Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So long may it continue. But mate, we really appreciate your time. Again, like it's fight week. I know you're not doing a loads over there, obviously just chilling out and tapering down before your fight, but nevertheless, we appreciate you jumping on, mate, and all being well, if your signal's good on Saturday, we'll get you on straight after the fight, get your reaction.
Sure, brilliant. Yeah, Tom, no problem.
Lovely stuff. All right then, mate, well, enjoy your evening, and I'll catch up with you soon.
All right, Tom, no worries. Thanks a lot, mate.
Top man.
Cheers, mate. See you a bit.